The following program is brought to you in part by Time Warner Cable and the Madison County School System. Hey everybody, be a friend of Madison County School Sports Television on Facebook. MCS TV on Facebook. Log on and like us now. This sports programming is brought to you by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond. Luxury Pet Service in Richmond. Jack Burford Chevrolet. Faith Created Assembly of God Church. ScenicCabin.com. Linville Insurance. Time Warner Cable. Madison County Schools. Richmond Tourism. Pro Signs. CSEP. First Gear. And Rosenbaum Communications.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County School Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
Welcome to the Coach Allen Feldhaus Basketball Show. Welcome to the Coach Feldhaus Basketball Show. He is the head basketball coach of Madison Central, and today we're at Jack Burford Chevrolet, and they are our official sponsor of our coaches shows. They were our football shows, and they have gladly decided to continue into basketball. So we're at the new remodeled dealership, and happy to have some new. It's different for basketball. It was blank walls when we were here for football.
Like a professional news studio to me.
It does. It can be our new studio right here. Coach Feldhaus, thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
We are really excited, and you've come off such a great season last year. Let's just start there, because so many people want to know you had to go into this season just on top of the world.
We did. A lot of question marks, though. When you lose 8 seniors and your top 6 players,
right.
You really don't know what to expect. And we didn't. We really didn't know what to expect. So for us to be 11-3 at this point in the season, I've told my kids several times, if somebody would have told me going into the first year we'd be 11-3, I would have
right.
been shocked. So I think the guys were probably feeding off the success that we did have last year, and of course these guys got to go against Dominique and Kenja, those kids day in and day out last year, so they were used to going against good competition, and it's just been great so far. Attitude's been great. It's been a very coachable group of young kids, and it'll be interesting to see. honestly, I didn't know if we'd be good enough to compete for the 11th region title again this year, but they've kind of made a believer out of me up to this point.
So they're pushing you. They're like, Coach, we can do this.
Yeah, I mean, once we had a couple of those early wins, of course, our Montgomery County, our two of our losses to Montgomery County, but the first one we got beat on a 30-footer at the buzzer, which was kind of a fluke. And of course, they're one of the top 10 teams in the state. And once I saw we could play with them, I thought, well, we've got a chance again.
Yeah, and these guys seem like, I mean, they've got such good attitudes. And let's talk about, a lot of these students are sitting at home on Christmas break. They're just happy to have a break. You guys have not had a break.
They got 2 days off. I think that was about it. But that's a good thing about high school basketball, especially in the state of Kentucky. I mean, most of your teams play in a tournament the week before Christmas.
Right.
And then they turn around and play in another tournament the week after Christmas.
And you've done that.
Which we've done that. And we got, I guess, 7 games in over a very short period of time.
Yes.
And that's great, of course.
And back to back. They've not had any break in these games.
Not much rest. That one day we played twice in one day.
Yes.
And that's kind of unusual. But kids, they're used to that. They'll play 3 or 4 games on the same day in the summertime.
And
but
a couple
the bad
of those
part,
gyms were hot. I mean, they were dehydrated, I'm sure.
At Berea, the tournament in Berea,
It's
of course,
warm.
very friendly confines, and especially the game against Montgomery County, the place was packed. But that's a great atmosphere for a high school basketball game. But the bad part about the holidays, when you're playing so many games, you don't get that much practice time.
Yeah.
So I was kind of glad to get that second tournament over with, so we could have a couple quality, practice days. Because when you play 7 or 8 games in a short period of time, you can kind of find some things that you need to work on, and we definitely found some things that we needed to work on.
Well, that's good. And so I guess school starts back on Monday. You'll go back to your regular schedule. We have a game. Well, today is Saturday for those of you watching, and so you got a game tonight, and then you'll go back to your regular.
Yeah,
practice.
finally, and it's good to finally get back in a regular routine. Usually a Tuesday night game and a Friday or Saturday night game, and then we get our regular lifting schedule. We usually lift on Sunday afternoons and then on Wednesday after practice. And we just haven't had much routine when you're playing in all these tournament games. So we'll kind of be glad to get back in the regular routine, kids going to class, coming in and practicing afterwards. But I know the kids enjoy that Christmas holiday because you're doing so much playing and not having to do so much practicing. As a coach, that's a different story for us.
Now, do you like when you do practice and we get closer to tournament time, do you start doing morning and afternoon practices, or you just keep on schedule?
No, we ease up, truthfully, as we get into January and February. We cut our practices back. We're in preseason, you're pretty much going for 2 hours, and then once regular season starts, usually about an hour and a half. And when we get in the latter part of January and into February, usually an hour is about it for us. But we try to keep our lifting routine the same, at least 2 days a week, to kind of maintain what they built during the preseason. And with this year's team, it's probably taken a little bit more practice time because we've got so much inexperience. I mean, when you're trying to break in 7 or 8 new kids who've never played really quality varsity basketball time in the 11th region, it's taken a little bit more practice time, but they've adapted really well. I've just been very proud of them.
Okay. Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'd like to talk about some of the players, and we'll get into some of them. I know there's been some different games. There's been some big plays from different players, so we'll talk about that.
Sounds
All
good.
right. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
This sports programming is brought to you by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service in Richmond, Jack Burford Chevrolet, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, ScenicCabin.com, Linville Insurance, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, Richmond Tourism, ProSigns, CSEP, First Gear, and Rosenbaum Communications. Hey everybody, be a friend of Madison County School Sports Television on Facebook. MCS TV on Facebook. Log on and like us now.
Welcome back to the Coach Alan Feldhaus Show. He's the head coach of Madison Central Basketball, and we're delighted to have him here. He's come off such a big season, and he's got another talented group of young men this season, and let's talk about some of those young men.
Well, it's been totally different than last year. We've got really good balance in scoring. I mean, at this point, we've got 5 kids that are averaging in double figures, and I don't think I've ever had a team since I've been coaching. That's for a long time, 28 years.
Has it been 28?
It's been 28 years. I don't think I've ever had a team to have 5 players averaging in double figures, and we've played 14 games right now, and I've got 5 averaging in double figures. And I think that's probably one of the things that makes us kind of hard to guard compared to last year.
Right.
People knew at the end of the game last year that Dominique was our first option, and Kendra was our second option,
right.
and Quan was our third option. With this year's team, they really don't know. It kind of changes from game to game. And
right.
I think
Whoever's hot, I guess.
we've had different people to lead us in scoring in a lot of those games. Both my post players, Sam Jones and DeMarcus George, are averaging double-doubles, and I've never had 2 players to average double-doubles. And you kind of look at our stats from, I talked to the kids the other day about this, you look at our stats from last year and compare it to this year, and we think there's 8 major categories that you look at. Well, in 5 of those categories, this year's team is actually better than last year's team. But the 3 things that we're struggling with are the 3 categories where defensively we're not as good. We're giving up.
And that's what gets you beat.
That's
on those
exactly
games.
right. We're giving up a lot more points than we did last year. But we're scoring a lot more points than we did last year. Free throw shooting, our 3 losses, that's definitely been our Achilles heel. I think we're only shooting 60% as a team. Last year's team shot 70% as a team. And turnovers.
But that number seems pretty high considering some of the teams that you play.
Yeah. We're averaging 76 points a game. Last year's team didn't average that; they were state champions. So we're really not having problems scoring. We're just having problems keeping the other team from scoring. And then in turnovers, we are averaging about 5 or 6 more turnovers. And I think a lot of that comes with inexperience, and all those things I think are things that we can improve on. So that's what we keep dwelling on those kids. Of course, with me. Our big thing at Madison Central since I've been there is playing good, hard-nosed, man-to-man defense, and that's what we're struggling with right now. We have a hard time keeping teams away from the basket, stopping dribble penetration. That's what we're really struggling with. But I think it'll come. Because we're going to keep harping on it. I know that.
You're going to keep on it. I know when I interview you at halftime, every time I'm always like, this team they hustle. That is always the word that I'm always throwing at you, because this team really picks up the pace at every game.
Well, I think they're fun to watch.
They are fun to watch.
And I think a lot of it's because our fans really don't know these kids. They haven't seen these kids play on the varsity level. And I think they've kind of been shocked, like me, that they've had so much success. And, I've got some kids, Cody, one of my seniors, Cody Alexander, that people love to watch him play because he is so hard-nosed and he's little and he doesn't have that much athletic ability, but what he's got, he leaves it out there on the floor. I don't know how many opposing coaches have come up to me before we play them and said, "I love your little Alexander kid." And I said, "Who, my little 5'8" kid, blonde? Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one I love." And it's because he just plays with a lot of heart and determination and stuff like that. Kind of rubs off on your other kids
and
too.
that's what you're supposed to get from your seniors.
That's exactly right. And DeMarcus George has had a great year. Ramsey's doing a great job coming off the bench, and that's what these are the guys that y'all need to look up. They've been with this program for 4 years. They know what we expect as coaches, and they've done a great job leading our team.
Right. Now, for those of you that don't know, how many new players do you have on the team this year?
Well, really, the only ones, you think back to the state tournament, you think back in postseason play last year. Really, DeMarcus George was the only player that got any quality playing time in the state tournament. So other than DeMarcus, really they're all new to the varsity level. All of them played. All of them played on the junior varsity team. We do have one new kid that's actually a transfer from Harlan Independent, Isaiah Johnson, that's playing for us, and he's just a junior. But as far as at the varsity level, they're all new. Right. It was basically, I've told many people this, our JV team last year is our varsity team this year. Exactly.
Let's talk about the Harlan kid. So he's had to come in, learn a whole new system.
Yeah, and it's you said it. It's been a learning experience for him, because I really don't think at Harlan they didn't have the same type of system that we have at Madison Central, and mainly on the defensive end. That's where he's really struggled with that hard-nosed man-to-man defense, and he's improving. It's good. It's a process. Yeah. It's a process. He's very athletic, And he's got some skills that I don't have to teach because he is very long. He jumps extremely well. All those lob dunk plays that we had last year for Quan and Dominique, he's able to step in and I think he had 2 or 3 dunks in last night's game against Berea. So we always, Coach Feldhaus always likes those lob plays. So it's nice to have somebody who can fill in and take that spot.
So good things to come from him. Then.
We think so. Well, I mean, we've only got 3 seniors, and we've got a lot of underclassmen that'll be back with us next year. And that's what I told our guys. These teams that are ranked ahead of us in our region are playing a lot of experienced players and a lot of seniors. So I think that the gap for improvement for us is a lot greater than the gap for improvement for them. So, and our kids really believe in themselves. They probably believe in themselves more than I do sometimes. So because they do play with a lot of confidence on the offensive end of the floor. And I mean, I think our record shows that.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about some future games that we'll get into.
Okay.
And then I know you mentioned the region too, so we'll talk about that too.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back.
This sports programming is brought to you by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service in Richmond, Jack Burford Chevrolet, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, ScenicCabin.com, Linville Insurance, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, Richmond Tourism, Pro Signs, CSEP, First Gear, and Rosenbaum Communications. Hey everybody, be a friend of Madison County School Sports Television on Facebook, MCS TV. On Facebook, log on and like us now.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County School Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
To the Coach Allen Feldhaus Show. I'm Samantha Burford here at Jack Burford Chevrolet. We discussed that a few minutes ago. Happy to have them as an official sponsor of the coaches shows. And tonight, I said earlier, you guys have a game. Let's talk about that game and let's talk about any of the future games.
We have Woodford County tonight. So it's really nice. We don't really schedule that many region teams in the first part of the season up to the first of the year. I think last night when we played Berea, I think that was only the second region team that we've played. Now, our schedule from here on out, we do have a lot of those 11th region teams, a lot of those teams from Lexington coming up down the road. Woodford County's 9-4 coming in tonight. They just won a tournament in Greenup County. They won 3 games to win a tournament in Greenup County right after Christmas. Where Scott Hunley played at Vanderbilt as their coach, does a really good job. So that'll be a good measurement for us to see how we stack up against them. And of course, I think we've got all the Lexington schools coming up. We've got Dunbar coming up next week. We've got both Catholic and Henry Clay coming up. We've got Louisville Trinity, who's the top 5 team in the state, coming to our place this year since we got to venture up there to Louisville last year. So really, our schedule really doesn't change much from year to year. We try to find the best teams that we can play in the state.
Now, do you make the schedule?
Oh yeah,
Do you sit down and you make the phone calls?
Yep. I mean, that's the number one thing I wanted to change when I got to Madison Central. I mean, to win the 11th region tournament, you're gonna have to play against the best, and we always say it's a mini state tournament in itself, so your kids have to be prepared. So we try to go out and find the best teams that we can possibly find. I don't think really in high school basketball you're not worried about seeding for a tournament because everybody makes it to postseason play. So the record really is not that important because everybody gets to compete in postseason play. The main thing is your kids be prepared and to go into that 11th region tournament when you're playing against. And I think this year there's 3 teams that kind of stick out right now. Lexington Catholic just won their prestigious tournament where they brought in 21 teams, and I think 15 of those 21 teams were ranked in the top 25 in the state. And you get to the finals of that tournament, you got 2 11th region teams in the finals. Lexington Catholic playing Lafayette, and then of course you got Scott County with the Gilbert kid, who's one of the best guards in the state. Of course, they got their new 7-foot transfer. For some reason, we can't get 7-foot transfers. I don't know how Scott County gets them, but they've got them. So I think those are probably, you look at it on paper, those are probably the top teams in the 11th region right now. Those are the ones that we're shooting for. So we've got, of course, we do have Lexington Catholic on our schedule. We don't play Scott County, and we were supposed to play Lafayette. I guess it was that first or second week of the season, and it got snowed out. And I don't think, we've been looking at our schedules, I don't think we're going to be able to make that one back up. Doesn't look good.
Now, let me ask you this. You know, behind the scenes, like when you have so many games going on throughout the season, I mean, you guys have a lot of games. How do you scout and get your team prepared for those games?
Well, most of the time now it's a lot of phone calls. I know when I first started coaching, I would actually get to go out and see,
watch
watch other teams. Now,
do you ever get videos?
Yeah, that's where most of it comes from now. Is off video. And of course,
do you do it, or you have your assistant coaches do it, or y'all
I have
do
both.
it?
It depends on who's available at the time.
Right.
And as far as watching the film, I do most of the breakdowns on the film. And really, this year, to be honest with you, because we are so young and so inexperienced, we really haven't spent that much time looking at the other teams. I've been a lot more concerned about what we're doing or what we're not doing. Now,
we've had a lot of games.
We have, and as we get a little bit closer to tournament time, we'll pay a little bit more attention, especially when we get into playing more 11th region schools. We'll probably pay a lot more attention to our scouting. But right now, we're trying to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, it seems like, you know, with football, they always have that whole week to scout and get prepared. You guys don't have that.
Yeah, we play on so many times. We play back-to-back nights.
Especially in these tournaments.
And I'll just be honest with you, the older I get, the less I do as far as scouting the other teams. Now, when it gets to tournament time, that's a different story.
Right.
And
well, you know all these coaches.
Yeah, and I know their
style.
And they know ours.
Yeah.
I kind of know their tendencies. And with me, I'm more concerned about the personnel, who our matchups are, because I mean, 90% of the time we are playing man-to-man defense, and we've got some players who are a little bit better defensively than others, and I want to make sure they're on the best players on the other team. And I think I've been around long enough where I can make some adjustments as the game goes along.
That leads me to my next question. I knew you did a lot of man-to-man. When do you decide that you're going to switch it up?
Well, this year we've had to decide that we probably
during the game. Before the game?
No. At the beginning of the game, but my goal is to play man-to-man defense the entire game. Now,
always going in.
From tip off to that final buzzer rings. But this year we've had a hard time keeping teams away from the basket. They're just beating us off the dribble. So we've played a lot more zone to keep them from getting to the basket. I don't want to, and I'm old school and don't like to, and it just breaks my soul every time I say, all right, we got to go 2 defense. We got to go our red half, which is our 2-2-1 half court trap. But we've done it, and it saved us on some of those games. But for us, and I tell our kids this, for us to be successful in the 11th region when the tournament rolls around, we got to be able to play good, half-court, solid Madison Central defense. That's what we're known for, and that's what I feel most comfortable coaching. And it's just a matter of getting these guys to buy into that.
Right. Well, I think you can.
Well, we're going to try our best.
Now, before we go to break, is there anything, and we have some surprises later in the show, but before we go to break, is there anything else you want to talk about?
But no, it's just, like I said, it's been surprising, I'll be honest with you. When you lose the type of kids that we lost last year, of course, we all know what Dominique's doing at the University of Kentucky, and Daniel Parks playing a lot for Transylvania, and Kenja's having a great year at Kentucky Wesleyan. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if he's a Division II All-American before he leaves Kentucky Wesleyan. When you lose kids like that, you think you're going to have a down year. And we really didn't know what to expect, and I think these kids, they believed in themselves.
You have to be proud, though.
Oh, I am.
Aren't you proud? Don't you feel somehow those 3, all of them, but you just have to feel so proud.
Well,
Papa.
I'm proud because I know those kids understand the value of hard work and what hard work will do for you, and I think it's paying off for them at the college level. And Dominique, he's figured a way to get on the floor, and it's It's with
It's
his defense.
working.
It's just working hard. And Kenja, he's the same way. And Coach Osborne out of Kentucky Wesleyan, he's called me numerous times, and just to say thanks, just thanks for having a kid like Kenja Bosley. And that's very, very rewarding because and that's the way we try to run our program. We try to have our kids prepared if they are good enough to go to the next level, where it's not such a culture shock when they get there.
A big change to them, right? You don't want that.
No.
Exactly.
No.
All right, well, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with the Madison County Coach Allen Feldhaus Show.
This sports programming is brought to you by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goebel in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service in Richmond, Jack Burford Chevrolet, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, ScenicCabin.com, Linville Insurance, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, Richmond Tourism, Pro Signs, CSEP, First Gear, and Rosenbaum Communications.
Welcome back to the Coach Allen Feldhaus Show. I'm Samantha Burford, and we have 3 surprises with us here today. Of course, Coach Feldhaus is gone. They've got the big game tonight, but we've got 3 seniors, and I'm going to let them go down the line and introduce themselves, and let's have you start.
Okay, my name is DeMarcus George, and I play forward for the basketball team.
My name is Cody Alexander, and I play guard for Madison Central.
My name is Ross Ramsey, and I play forward for Madison Central.
And what I'd like to know, and I think what everybody else would like to know, is tell us your experience from last season, winning the state championship. I mean, you won district, region, then the state. I mean, coming off of all that, you guys had to have one heck of a great summer, and then you start into the fall. So talk to us. We'll have all 3 of you tell us a little bit about the experience and going into this season, what it's been like.
Yeah, it was a great experience, especially like the preparation before the games during the state tournament. Like we ate pretty much every day, and then when we went to Rafferty's, I think we ate 3 times in a row at Rafferty's.
So that's the best part, the eating. You guys probably eat a lot, really. I mean, because you're burning a lot of calories.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, it was a really great experience, especially like the last second shot that Kenji hit. It was just like nobody could actually believe it because we was down by 16 at halftime. And then when we came back from winning it that night, the championship, everybody in the community was downtown, and it was just
a big parade.
I've never seen so many people like that lived in actually Madison County, so it was a good experience.
And all there for you guys to support you, thank you, and just tell you how much hard work and your dedication. Everybody was following you. I mean, they all loved it. I've never seen so many Madison Countyans at one place at one time. And it was great. Let's hear from you.
I think when we won the state tournament, coming into this year, it gave us a lot of confidence in our team, and we want to go back to state again. Hopefully we can.
Well, you heard Coach Feldhaus earlier. He was a little apprehensive about this season, and him and the staff were like, we don't know what to expect. So, but you guys did.
Yeah, we surprised a lot of people.
Yeah. So were you nervous starting off this season?
No,
I don't think so.
No, you were ready.
Just ready to prove people wrong.
Ready to get back out on the court. Which you probably never really stop. I'm sure you guys play ball year round. It's in your blood. You do it. That's what we do in Kentucky, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's hear from you.
Well, I think playing with the team we did last year, we got so used to winning. You know, it was just every game you went into the game, there was no other option but to win. And I think it's carried over this season. That's just what we go by. You know,
right.
Do whatever you have to do to win. You know.
So as the 3 seniors, you guys are leading this team. How far do you think you'll get? Or you think you'll make it to the end of the state tournament? Are you that confident?
So. That's what we're planning on. Yeah.
The 11 region's wide open, so we can get it.
That's good. Well, listen, anything else you guys want to add?
No, ma'am.
We are very happy to have you guys all here with us today, and we're coming to the game tonight. We wish you much success, and go Central, right?
Yes.
Got some Indian blood in there. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for watching the Coach Allen Feldhaus Show, and best of luck to you guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey everybody, be a friend of Madison County School Sports Television on Facebook. MCS TV on Facebook. Log on and like us now. This sports programming is brought to you by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service in Richmond, Jack Burford Chevrolet, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, ScenicCabin.com, Linville Insurance, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, Richmond Tourism, Pro Signs, CSEP, First Gear, and Rosenbaum Communications. Hey everybody, be a friend of Madison County School Sports Television on Facebook. MCS TV on Facebook. Log on and like us now.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County School Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.